So hello, welcome back to a new video. The engine is in. Now, this was not easy to get in position. I think what it is, this engine crane is too small. If you saw the removal of the engine, you'll know that I had to put it on the very last one, which is 200 kg, and a fully loaded engine, it's got to be the best part of that, right? But yeah, to get the engine crane close enough to where the engine has to go, you know, so it sits over the engine mounts. Obviously I had the front bumper off, but I had to take the front crash bar off. Already had the radiator pack off and everything, but I literally had to take the whole entire front end on because I had it, you know, as far as it could go, but it just wouldn't go back and seat home onto the gearbox. So yeah, that was definitely a bit of a pain to do all that. But as you can see, the front end is all built up now. We have a brand new AC condenser in place. I'm just going to leave the front bumper off for now. We need to see if this engine runs. Now, I have installed some remanufactured injectors. The fuel system is all connected up. Our nice new shiny starter motor is installed. I've also installed a new fuel filter as well. Of course, we have fresh engine oil in. I already installed the filter when I rebuilt the engine back up. We have coolant. I know this is going to cycle through and I will have to add more once we get this thing up and running. I don't think I mentioned on the previous video, I may have, I may not have, but we also have a refurbished turbo in place as well. I think everything should be buttoned up. I have gone over things and, you know, checked things once and twice. Pretty sure all the electrical connectors are all back in place. Oh, we have a fresh air filter in, of course, as well. We've also had the battery on charge. And then I've done a bunch of things like reset all of the adaptations. So you have the air mass adaptations, fuel adaptations, a whole bunch of different adaptations. I've just reset all them because we have basically a fresh new engine in. So I'm going to kind of let the car learn all of its, you know, adaptations to suit. But one thing we need to do before we attempt to fire this engine up is bleed the air out of the fuel system. Now, because, you know, the whole thing's been apart, we've had the fuel pipes off, the high pressure fuel pump, the fuel rail and the injectors are all going to be completely dry. So I'm going to do a test with my diagnostic tool and bleed all of the air out of the fuel system. Once that's done, we can try and fire this thing up. Okay, so like I said, first of all, let's bleed the fuel system. This should just basically activate the fuel pump. Yep, I can hear fuel starting to gush around. Hopefully not all over the floor. I guess we should check that actually. No, I can't see any fuel leaking. Definitely is making a loud noise though. That is so loud. Well, at least we are definitely hitting minimum pressure. You can see way over that. Bleeding ended. Bleeding procedure has completed and finished successfully. The engine can now be started. Now, if I said that I wasn't nervous, I would definitely be lying. So much time, effort and money has gone into getting this thing back on the road and driving again. I don't know why I'm so nervous. I've double and triply checked things. I guess there's always that thought at the back of your mind that what if that. But yeah, I guess it's either going to fire up or it's not. So yeah, let's do it. Well, it spins over quickly. I guess there's still probably air in the fuel system. It lives. Alright, so it does seem like it's running a little bit smoother now. Do we have any smoke from the exhaust? No, I can't really see any. Maybe the faintest bit of smoke. And a bit of soot has fell out of the exhaust. But yeah, I need to switch this off, check all the levels, check the oil level, top up the coolant, and then fire it up again. Right, I think we need to take it on just a little test drive, just to make sure it goes into gear and it drives. Right, let's do it. Well, we're moving. We are moving. So it runs and it drives, and as you can see, the car is now back together, front bumper back on, and I've actually gave it a good thorough clean as well. This came up so nice. Really is in pretty good shape, this car. Obviously gave the interior a good clean out as well. That's the boot area, pretty much spotless. It's the rear of the car. And the front. Yeah, very pleased with how this just came up. It's crazy to believe that this car's covered 150,000 miles. You really wouldn't think so after giving it a good clean. And all of the engine bay covers are all now back in place exactly where they should be. And I've actually gave this car a full service as well, so all the filters, all the fluids, so obviously oil and filter, coolant, fresh coolant and deionized water, new air filter, new cabin filter, new fuel filter, service the gearbox, service the rear diff, and pretty much anything that I could have done within reason I have done with this car. Now I haven't ran the engine in yet. I will have to take it for about 100 miles or so just to run the engine in. Of course, keeping the engine under load. You don't want to, labour the engine, but you also don't want to drive it too hard. Obviously it has fresh piston rings, so you want to make sure they seat against the cylinder walls properly. But yeah, I said that this thing was running a little bit rough on initial startup. I think that was probably just burning oil and whatever else off and letting the adaptations kind of do their thing. But yeah, I'll let you listen to this thing now. It sounds sweet. And you could even say it now sounds like a new engine. No smoke whatsoever from the exhaust. But yeah, really happy with how this project has turned out in the end. So then, with everything now pretty much done on this car, obviously I just need to run the engine in. Takes about 100 miles or so to run the engine in, and then I'll probably do an oil change at 500 miles or so, change the oil and filter, and then the car's ready to go to the new owner, which, as I've already mentioned, it's going to a family member. So I'm sure there'll be work to do on this car in the future, but for now it should be good. Obviously it's had a fresh refurbished engine, it's had remanufactured injectors, it's had a remanufactured turbo, so like it's had all the major things that potentially could go wrong. It's had all them replaced. A few of the bits I've replaced the AC condenser, so that's another job I need to do, actually take it to be take the air conditioning to be recharged. But yeah, all the major things that I think can really go wrong on these cars has been replaced. Obviously I've done all the filters, all the fluid, so that's going to be good for the foreseeable future. And yeah, I hope this car is going to be a good, reliable car for my family member, and I hope it serves them well. I'm sure it will, but like I said, I'm always here on hand to sort any problems that the car has. I'm sure like they'll have to replace suspension components, things like that over the years. But yeah, like I said, the main things, they should be done. Also notice actually when I had all the wheels off, all the brakes have been done all round. It's had all new discs, all new pads, like pretty recently, I think in the last 1,000 miles or so, because they look brand new pretty much. So that's another bonus as well. But yeah, I am going to wrap this video up. This will be the last video you'll see on this car in the Trading Up series, because it's done now as far as I'm concerned. You're probably wondering what do I have in the car? What have I sold the car for? Did I make a profit? And I'm going to answer that now. So yes, I did make a profit. I'd made about £1,000 profit, I believe. So I had in the car about 3,000 and I sold it for £4,000. Now, could I have made more profit? Yes, I could. Realistically, this car's probably worth, after doing all that work, I probably could have got 5,000 to 6,000 for it. But like I said, it's going to a family member, and I don't need to maximize profit. I'm not a car dealer. Obviously, YouTube is my job. I just want to keep the Trading Up series going at a steady rate. And so yeah, that's where we're at. £4,000 will be our total budget for the next car. So that means I have to buy a car and fix it / do it up with that £4,000. So let's say, for example, I buy a car for 3,000, get it home and everything for £3,000. And yeah, my budget then would be £1,000 to fix it up essentially. So yeah, hopefully that's answered any questions that you may have surrounding that. When I get the next car, I don't know. I have a bunch of cars that I need to move on at the moment, so I can't really say when it's going to be. Yeah, I need to create space desperately at the moment, but yeah, I'm happy that this car has is now done. And yeah, I want to say a massive thanks again to BMW Pro for supplying the refurbished engine. None of this would have been possible. It wouldn't have been possible to do this car on a budget and make a profit if it wasn't for their help. So yeah, again guys, if you need anything BMW M47 related, they really are the specialists. Now, as I mentioned, they do rebuild other engines as well. They do N57 and I think some M47 and M57 stuff as well. You have to check with them, but yeah, N47s really are their bread and butter. They do, like I said, 5 or 6 engines a week. So yeah, get in touch with them if you have any issues, or if you need an engine rebuild, or you want to just get an engine shipped to you, and they'll be glad to help you out. But yeah, I've gone on long enough anyway. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. I want to thank you all for watching. Give this video a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you all in that next one.